Hi, it's Darcey. Thank you for taking the time to answer my questions about the book Tidemagic. My first question is, Ista can change her face, but what are some of the core character traits that stays consistent throughout the story?
Hello, I'm Clare Harlow, the author of Tidemagic, The Many Faces of Ista Flit. I'm so excited to be here today to answer your questions, and the first one's a really good one. Ista has a lot of qualities about her personality that stay the same even as she's changing faces. She's bold and she's big-hearted, and these two qualities often come together to get her into a fair amount of trouble because she has a habit of acting without thinking through the consequences. As the story goes on, her personality also changes a fair bit. She meets people, I think I can say this without giving away too many spoilers. She meets people who teach her that she doesn't always need to do everything by herself, and that sometimes the best thing to do is to share your problems with your friends and work out what to do together.
Question 2. Can you tell us a bit more about Shelwich, unique features and the role it plays in the story?
Shelwich. Now, Shelwich is a city full of mysteries and secrets. It's built beside what's called a tidal river, which means that just like the river near where I live, the water rises and falls. And in the story, each time the water rises, so does the magic, giving people temporary magical powers. There are also streets that move, buildings that seem to have minds of their own, and monsters lurking in the shadows. As Ista sets out to discover what's happened to her missing father, her search takes her all over this extraordinary city and down into the ancient caverns below it, where even more adventures and dangers are waiting.
Did you include any hidden details or Easter eggs in the book that the fans might enjoy looking out for?
Hidden details. Well, ideas always come to me when I'm out walking, and I took a lot of inspiration for the setting of Tidemagic from the real world. So if readers ever come to the part of London where I live, they might see lots of details that make them stop and think, oh, that's just like in the story. The observatory at the top of the park became the Moon Tower. One of the old pubs near the river inspired the Fletwin. There's even a mini museum of curiosities in the window of one of the houses. And if you happen to walk along the river path on a misty afternoon when the tide is high, you might just find yourself at the exact spot where we first meet Ista. There are also, if you read book 1 very, very carefully, quite a few clues about what might happen to Ista on her future adventures.
My next question is, who were your favourite authors and what were your favourite books as a child?
Oh, I could waffle on about my favourite books and authors for ages. When I was first learning to read by myself, I particularly loved the Paddington stories by Michael Bond. I listened to them too, which you had to do on cassette in those days. In fact, I've still got one of the cassette tapes, although I haven't got anything to play it on nowadays. By the time I was 8 or 9, I was into anything mysterious, spooky or scary. I loved a book called Moondial by Helen Cresswell, which is about a lonely girl who finds an object a bit like a sundial that transports her back into the past whenever the moonlight shines on it. And I loved the Deptford Mice books by Robin Jarvis, although I should probably warn you that those really are quite scary if you're thinking of giving them a go. At the same time, I loved comics, especially Calvin and Hobbes by Bill Watterson, which are about a boy whose toy tiger comes to life and gets up to all kinds of mischief. I've been trying to think about what these books have in common, and I think it's the way the writers have created characters that have stayed with me long after the final page, just as I hope Ista, Nat and Ruby might stay with readers after they finish Tidemagic.
And my final question is, can you reveal what might happen next in the world of Tidemagic?
Well, as anyone who has read the first book will probably guess, it is tricky to say too much about what happens next in the world of Tidemagic. But I can promise that I do resolve that cliffhanger and that Ista, Nat and Ruby will all be back for more adventures together. As for what those adventures will involve, lots of little clues are dotted throughout book 1, so happy reading, and I really hope you'll come back for book 2. For now, thanks for all your brilliant questions, and Tide keep you.
Thank you very much for answering my questions, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye!